when my dad died, he left me a whole load of stuff, including his old conjuring tricks, his magic box full of these old tricks that he used to do as an amateur conjurer years ago when he was in his 30s and 40s. And when we were kids, my sister and I, we used to sit round and he would pull out these tricks and he would show us things, card tricks, tricks with handkerchiefs, the cone, ball and handkerchief, that was a favourite one of his, find the lady, all those sort of things. He didn't do them in a big way and he didn't put on big shows. It was sort of very much close-up magic that he did. Anyway, we used to love all that. And actually, I think it's because my dad used to do those magic tricks that I've got that sense of entertainment, and I like to perform a bit from time to time. Well, I used to do it as a living. And anyway, I've got these tricks back and I was looking at them, but sadly, of course, time had gone by and they weren't all working and bits were missing and some of them were broken. And I couldn't fathom out how many of them worked, but they were great mementos from my dad. There were also some magazines in the box, some of these old magic magazines from the 50s. And I was just leafing through one of them. I think it was called The Genie, I can't remember now, but it came across a trick that it sparked a memory that my dad used to rave about, this trick called the disappearing hat trick. And I thought, oh yes, that's right. He never had it, but he'd always wanted it, but it was just too expensive for him. And he never thought he'd have a use for it, but he loved the idea. And it was the concept of having a hat, you know, like a top hat, you know how magicians do, and they pull rabbits out and all that sort of nonsense. You see, you have the hat, you put it on your head like this, and you clap 3 times, and the hat disappears. And then in its place is a big cloud of confetti, and of course the hat's gone, and it's an amazing action. So you put it on, bang, 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 poof, hat disappears, confetti everywhere. Now I think what actually happens, not sure I should really give this away, but it collapses by some spring mechanism, and it's noise activated. So that's what the clapping does. And it slips down at the back of the head into a little pouch that you're wearing, which of course the audience don't see. Anyway, I thought it was a great trick and a great entrance for a magician to come on stage. Now my dad used to be known as the great Trevini, because his name was Trevor. And I thought, well, I could be the great Ricardo, because obviously my name's Richard. You come on stage and go, hello, I'm the great Ricardo. Bang, 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 hat disappears, big cloud of confetti, and what a stunning thing. Or you could use it as the final act. You're bowing and you're saying, thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad you enjoyed my show. Bang, 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 poof. What an amazing way to go. Leave them wanting more and all that sort of stuff. So I thought, I wonder if it's still available. Well, the magazines are no longer published, of course. It was a long time ago. But I went online and the company that made the hat is still out there. And scrolling down all the various tricks that they do was the disappearing hat trick. And I thought, oh, and yeah, it was quite expensive. And I was umming and ahhing, but I thought, wouldn't it be great to do that in one of the videos? It would get a good reaction. So I ordered it. Now, when you order it, there was this little clause thing saying, well, when it arrives, please make sure you're in, which I thought was a bit strange, but obviously I'm usually in when a parcel arrives. I don't like them being nicked from the front door or going to my neighbours or anything like that, so it's not really a problem for me. So I ordered it. Now, it took, unfortunately, about 3 weeks to get here, which was very annoying, especially when you're excited about something. But anyway, on the day in question, it arrived, and I, unfortunately, was in the garden at the time. I'd been previously looking out the window, waiting for the van, you know, or the postman, and it wasn't. It was a cold day, and I just happened to pop out into the garden, you know, sod's law, grab some kindling, get some logs, when my neighbour peered over and said to me, he said, Richard, you know, the postman's trying to get your attention. They're banging on the door and you're not answering. I said, oh, bloody hell. So I came running in, opened the door. The postman was just about to leave. He said, oh, nearly gave up on you. I said, no, it's all right, I'm here. So there was this box and I signed for it. And it was actually very nicely presented. So brought it in, very excited, opened it up, tore it open, and I just looked in. It was empty. It was an empty box. Except there was all this confetti, you know, that obviously was part of it, but they hadn't put the hat in. I thought, oh, there we go. That's a Friday thing, isn't it? Some lazy louts parcelled it up, sent it off, forgot to put the blooming hat in. Fortunately, there was the telephone number. So I thought, right, okay. And I was a bit riled and disappointed. So I rang them up and I said, excuse me, I've got this wonderful, paid a lot of money for this. The parcel's arrived, there's no hat. And there was this sort of bit of a pause from the guy, and he said, oh, I see. He said, this does happen from time to time. He said, you were in, it was important, you were in when it arrived. And I said, yes, I was in. He said, oh, he said, have you got a doorbell? And I said, well, actually, no, I don't have a doorbell as it happens. He said, did the postman have to knock on the door? I said, well, I imagine so. He said, there you go, it's triggered the mechanism. Your hat's disappeared. I said, oh, charming. What I should have ordered, of course, was a hat that disappeared and then reappeared. I won't be dealing with them again, I can tell you.